Holy moly, you gotta see this. We just got our first perfect war for the Pot of Gold clan. Ow! Alright, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and show you them in order from bottom to top and show you how things turned out on these fights and show you each and every base that we 3-starred. I'm very proud of the clan. First off, we got Freckles here, who definitely made some improvements to his game and got things going with a few more giants than usual, bringing in the wizards behind him. Gonna back him up from the clan castle with the healer. Of course, started off with the lightning on the base first. So basically what we have here is that this clan, first of all, they did not prep their bases by filling up the clan castles. Each and every base that we fought ended up with no clan castle defense. That really helped us out with being able to prioritize other spells besides poison against the other base opponents. So now you see here they got the healer out, backing up the giants and the wizards that are kind of bunching up here in the base. But that's going to be pretty good because when it comes to receiving the splash damage, the healer is going to compensate for that. And a couple of wizards straggling out on a couple of other parts to make sure that they get the surrounding stuff in the base. And the healer's doing a pretty good job of keeping the remaining giants and wizards in there healthy. And once they take out the mortar there, it's pretty much going to be endgame for this base. Freckles did a pretty good job of making sure that the wizards ended up staying behind the giants for the most part to make sure they took the brunt of the damage. That certainly allowed them to use their offensive power to get in there and dominate this base. So Freckles, great job, and definitely gets the 3-star out of this, of course. So yeah, this one wraps it up here. We're just getting the last of the elixir collectors, and our 3 stars are beginning. Woo! Alright, so next up here we have Naledi, which is the second base for our co-leader Kai. Coming in, Town Hall 6 troops versus Town Hall 6. Going with the giant wizard combination, starting off by getting some archers out there on the corner structures there so they don't have to straggle out there at the end to try to go after them. Goes ahead and gets the giants started up, bunches up the wizards, which usually doesn't work out, but this seemed to do pretty well because they ended up splitting off, doing some divide and conquer as well, and the archers helping to keep them spread out as well. Brings out some currently max level hogs in the clan castle to go ahead and help out with making sure things get blown apart here in the defenses. Favors the hogs with the other heal spell to make sure that those powerful troops are helping to take out the defenses. And as you can see here, those defenses go out pretty quickly. This attack didn't take very long. The wizards definitely helping to get on the outside for the most part to go ahead and take out the surrounding structures. Once the hogs take care of the defenses, they help out with the cleanup. And this one's pretty short and sweet here, getting us another 3-star effort. So great job, Naledi. And here we go to number 8. Alright, next up for number 8 in the countdown, we have Gorbals, who's a Town Hall 7, got the advantage to taking on a Town Hall 6 in this war. So it starts off to see about the clan castle lure, but kind of forgot that they didn't put in troops this time, but that's okay. It's a good habit to keep. So the giants come in, they start making their way in. Archers right behind them to start cleaning out some of the outer buildings there, and hopefully the wall breakers get that wall. Yes, they do. So now the giants and his hog riders start running their way in and to start doing damage to the defenses here. And the Barbarian King and the wizards come in from behind now. He sticks out the hogs from the clan castle to get them going. Getting the giants protected with the heal spell and also the hogs on the other side. Archers coming in on the other side to clean up. He's very good at covering the base all around. And as you can see, the hog riders with the rage spell boost there, getting the extra damage done and knocking out the last of the defenses. So this was a pretty quick fight here and got a lot of cleanup action here to go left, but the town hall is getting taken care of by the giants. And it's gonna run out of stuff to destroy here. Just getting that extra stuff in the corner, that last builder's hut. And good job Gorbals on a 3-star effort. Okay, so next what we have here is number 7 Demo going for the dragons and lightning attack. Gets lightning down there on that bottom air defense and counting on the dragons to go ahead and take out the other one. Now bear in mind, this is after the update where they were able to add a 3rd air defense to Town Hall 7s, but apparently this base didn't get the memo. So Demo takes him down, gets the dragons in there. Yeah, really without the air defenses now, I mean, it's just a matter of time in order to take him out. As you can see, the attack only has about 45 seconds to go. So I do like how, Demo was pretty consistent with going ahead and, not really reinventing the wheel or anything and going ahead and do what he does best with that. So yeah, now just kind of letting this move along here. So at this point, yeah, it almost kind of makes it almost a little boring to watch, in fact, to see how predictable this is going to turn out. But I mean, that was kind of the state of this war. We, especially since we didn't have the Clan Castle troops to worry about on their side, we definitely had an easier time with that. And so, yeah, some of these attacks, they don't seem to be as exciting as they were, at least at the time to watch, when you kind of watch them over again. But still, it kind of shows how textbook these attacks really were. I mean, we did so well on them. So good job demo here on number 7. Now let's move the countdown to number 6. Okay, so for number 6, we have Jorge coming in to take care of this Town Hall 8. Now, a little bit about Jorge. Came into this clan pretty recently before this war started, and this is actually the first war that Jorge participated in, so we were excited to see how well he'd do. So, as a new Town Hall 9, we didn't mind that he went ahead and took on a couple of the Town Hall 8s to help clean him up and make sure that we got those stars. So as you can see here, it takes lightning down on the air defense over there. Goes ahead and starts in with a couple of dragons to start getting a little bit of a funnel going on for the other ones, so that they can go in and hopefully get to those other air defenses before they do too much damage. So at this rate, kind of a little bit worried since, when it comes to how centered the air defenses are, basically, I'm just kind of wondering if they're going to get through. But as you can see, the Clan Castle has some balloons in as well as 2 of his own. And he goes ahead and uses them to start making their way through. Now, as you can see, they almost seem to start going around everything. But by the time they get in, the dragons have already taken care of the second air defense. And now they're working toward the third. And the balloons are pretty tough enough to get in there just in time and make sure that it does get taken out. So at this point, there's no more worries. And yeah, with that Archer Queen is kind of the main difference to kind of help out, especially with cleanup in this, as far as taking on Town Hall 8s goes. So that was kind of the only real big difference. But additionally, yeah, he did have also the Spell Factory upgraded. Basically, the first couple of things you kind of want to do, actually, when you get to Town Hall 9 is get your Spell Factory and your Archer Queen. So with that, that does make the difference in being able to get this base taken out. So Jorge does a good job on his first attack in war with Pot of Gold. And now it's just a matter of cleaning up that last structure there, and we're going to move on to number 5. But good job, Jorge, for your first fight. Alright, so next we have the number 5 in the countdown. Again, Jorge comes in to go ahead and take on the top Town Hall 8 that was up against us, using lightning to go ahead and wipe out the air defense there. Supplemented with the Quake, it's always a pretty good idea so that you can kind of save a little spell space there. That one extra Quake that you get left over as a result will be able to help you out with maybe doing some extra supplementary damage to things. So now I do want to make a point that this one here was actually the attack that gave us the 30th star. Jorge went ahead and sealed the deal for us on that one. Although we did have a few attacks remaining that would be able to handle it as well. It was pretty cool that Jorge went ahead and took care of it for us. But it was pretty much a certainty at this point anyway. I mean, short of, internet shutdown or something. That's, well, the only thing I was going to be able to stop us at this point. The other clan, as I, probably said before here, they didn't even attack. They didn't even fill in their clan castles on prep day. So they really made it easier for us. And this is probably the best opportunity we certainly would have in order to be able to do that sort of thing. I'm certainly looking forward to get some more, excuse me, I'm looking forward to getting some more perfect wars in here, because I know there's other clans out there that are so good at doing war that, these kind of things are kind of commonplace to them. But since this is our first, of course, it's particularly special for us, and kind of shows us how we are capable of doing it, and we're certainly going to be able to do it again eventually. As you can see, Jorge's got the level 3 dragons going on in here, taking care of business. The air defenses are handled. The Archer Queen, the Barbarian King are pretty much working on cleanup now. They're not really in the way of the defenses or anything. So at this point, yeah, the remaining dragons are down south here. Now, it did get a little tricky here, at least as far as that last air defense is going up there. So I was thinking, yeah, with just these few dragons left, oh man, this is going to be over, and we're not really going to get the 3rd star out of it. Although I wasn't particularly worried. Again, as I said before, we definitely had other attacks we were going to be able to use from our stronger guys to be able to get things done. So as you can see here, there's 2 dragons left, the heroes are left, and the Barbarian King's kind of getting hit some, but the ability gets turned on here so he can get some of those hit points back, and then the cannon is able to get taken out by the dragons before they lose their hit points. That keeps the Barbarian King alive kind of just barely here. So as you can see, that now that the dragons are getting into the way of the last 2 air defenses that are going to attack him, I'm sitting here at the time thinking, man, this is going to be totally over, especially with the dragons gone. The heroes aren't going to be able to get into time. Or are they? The Archer Queen does manage to get through to the wall in time, and the Barbarian King's working the wall, but the hit points are kind of low there. However, the Archer Queen saves the Barbarian King by taking out that Tesla just in time. So now, as far as defenses go, there's really nothing that can stop them. There's only air defenses left, and that's certainly not going to hurt the hero. So now we're just in a fight against time here. And this actually does come down to just the last couple of seconds, if not the very last second. However, you can see the Archer Queen has enough power, the Barbarian King has enough bulk as well to be able to take out the high hit point buildings. And once they're taken down, the air defense being the only thing that's left, the Archer Queen can certainly shoot it down. And next thing you know, we have a perfect war going on here. But that's not the end of it. We still have 4 more attacks to show off. But congratulations, Jorge, on a 6-star day that helped us seal the deal. Alright, with number 4 in the countdown, we have Koopstain coming in for some Town Hall 9 action. Now, since the clan castles didn't have any troops in them, Koopstain went ahead and opted for putting in a couple of quake spells to hit there in the middle to go ahead and weaken the walls there, soften them up. So, on that note, the Go Wipe will start coming in here to take on the southern side. Now, this does look like one of those classic southern teaser kind of bases, but apparently still not too much of a challenge. As you can see, the cannons of this Town Hall 9, pretty much most of these air defenses are regular defenses as well, are not really maxed out in the Town Hall 9 level. Pretty much the big difference here between this and the Town Hall 8 setup is that you just have the new stuff thrown in. For example, the Archer Queen's still pretty young, the Expos are still level 1 and that sort of thing. So this attack actually wasn't really as difficult as far as the weight of the base is concerned. But Koopstain does do pretty well in making sure that the troops that do go in are pretty much ordered in a way that you see the golems and the P.E.K.K.A.s are in front of things, so the wizards are hardly taking any pressure. So the Archer Queen and the Barbarian King do kind of go off to the side. As you can see, the Barbarian King gets taken out at this point. But as far as the way the troops are running in there and taking care of things, things are getting beat up pretty well. As you can see, the P.E.K.K.A.s take the giant bomb before the wizards run into it. The rage spell's placed pretty well, and pretty much right where the spells need to be, because you see that concentration of defenses, in particular the Tesla towers there, going ahead and making sure that the golems are taking the brunt of the damage, the wizards are coming in, the spell's protecting things. It pretty much was a really good solid attack as far as that goes. And even though the heroes went off to the side, you can see that they're going ahead and working cleanup now. I mean, really, as far as defenses go, there are only, at this point, 2 archer towers, a cannon, and a mortar left. And as long as the wizards don't take too much heat, then they're going to be fine. Well, actually, they do there. I spoke too soon. But we got a P.E.K.K.A. still here. Or 2, actually. The P.E.K.K.A.s are going to go ahead and start moving outside a little bit and try to get to some of these trash buildings. So, at the same time, the golem is still coming in trying to look for the defenses. So, it's attracting a lot of the fire. But at this point, as you can see, the defenses are decreasing in just a way that they're really not getting to the troops that are doing the offensive damage, namely the Archer Queen at this point. So right now, we're just kind of looking at a matter of time sort of thing. And as you see again, the golem heads right for the cannon. The other troops are just behind enough that they don't have to really worry about taking any extra damage. And so at this point, it's just a matter of those last few structures getting taken down. And so, pretty good job here by Koopstain. Koopstain actually does a pretty good job here, as you'll see in the next attack as well. Usually our number 2's best role is to be able to take on their number 3 and number 4 on the other side, while the number 1 takes on 1 and 2. That's pretty much how I like to see our top 2 handling things. So now, going into number 3 in the countdown, you see Koopstain getting ready to take on another Town Hall 9. This one's a little bit more advanced. A couple of the defenses are a little bit more upgraded, namely the Wizard Towers. They're pretty much the obvious one here. But you see a lot of the stuff is kind of on the outside. I don't know if these guys made this base in order to try to make it so that the troops would scatter a whole lot more. But it didn't really seem to work well enough, because as you can see, the troops are getting right in there. The golems are getting in just ahead of most of the other troops, so that you're not really seeing the wizards take a lot of damage right off the bat. And even if they kind of are, they're doing enough damage to stop things from being catastrophic to them in time. And see, things are getting right in the core. The wall breakers, and the spells are being pretty well timed, so that things are ending up going right in the middle. Now, as you can see, the P.E.K.K.A.s and the Barbarian King, they're going to straggle off to the side again. They tend to do that. It's pretty difficult if you have, especially if you have a tight-knit base where the structures are very close to each other, where you can manage to kind of path the P.E.K.K.A.s and the heroes in. I want to say that, it seems like the AI of the troops is a little bit different in that sense, where the P.E.K.K.A.s are going to be willing to go even further outside if it means they don't have to touch a wall, whereas other troops, especially ranged troops, are not going to worry too much about it. They're going to want to go a little bit more inside. But that runs the risk of the troops splitting up. So you do have to be careful about that sometimes. That's why things like funneling your troops is a good idea, making sure that you time your wall breakers or your jump spells and things like that to make sure that the troops really do want to target where you want them to before they go off on their own and just kind of screw around. But at least in this case, where the troops that went outside, they are going ahead and taking care of trash. Sometimes they do a little distracting of the defenses so that the troops that are heading into the core don't really take too much damage. And so as you can see, we even have like a Golemite sticking in there like a trooper for now, about to get taken out. But by this point, excuse me, you don't have much for defenses left that are going to do a lot of heavy damage, especially to high hit point troops like P.E.K.K.A.s. So at this point, it's just a matter of hopefully just seeing that the Expo and the Wizard Towers there are going to kind of focus on something that is able to take a lot of damage. In this case, the 3 P.E.K.K.A.s are already still in there. And so as you can see, things are pretty much taken care of. The Archer Queen's still out of range, and the Wizard Towers are too focused on something else. And so goodbye base. Got the barracks and got the builders hut left here. Coopstain does a great job on getting a 6-star day on the number 3 and number 4. Does exactly what I would hope our number 2 guy gets to do. So congratulations on that. And now we're going to get to the top 2 in the countdown. Okay, with our second to last replay here, we have Taiga, who came in at our number 1 and attacks the number 2 in this one. You can see that some of the walls there are pretty fresh, so he goes ahead and takes advantage of that weak spot on the side there. You can see that this base has kind of a setup where there's a lot of separated compartments where you've got things walled up, but then you could pretty much easily walk around a lot of these areas and get to things, which I don't find to be a tremendously effective way of setting up a base, because you don't necessarily need a lot of wall breakers or jump spells or anything like that in order to take care of things. The troops will walk around. Now this might be designed to have a lot of traps set off, but this is certainly easily mitigated by Taiga's attack here, which is I don't know if it's go wipe with the witches or go wee wee with the P.E.K.K.A.s, but it's a pretty good combination apparently, because the troops are able to get in there, even if the golems aren't right there taking some stuff from the defenses. The P.E.K.K.A.s are getting in there a bit to do that as well, and then it's just a matter of the other troops being able to follow in and get the damage done, mainly the wizards. As we're taking a look here, they're just following in behind and taking advantage of the shielding that they're getting and making sure that they do their part. And that was pretty much the theme of the war here. Things were pretty easily handled that way. The golems went in the right direction. They didn't stray off. Usually that can pretty much ruin a war attack when they decide, okay, I'm just going to start punching this wall without really trying to get into somewhere else that's already kind of accessible. So at this rate, we're just looking at taking down the rest of those Teslas and a couple of these other defenses. You still have the golems working things. Now, at this point, you can see there's like the P.E.K.K.A., the wizards. The golems are up top there still, and they can take some of the damage off of the other troops. But yeah, at this point, it's looking kind of suspenseful. Now that the golems got through the wall there, that's when I started to feel a sense of relief on that attack where, okay, yeah, let the troops go after the P.E.K.K.A.s. But yeah, at this rate here, we just have those couple of the couple of hidden Teslas left, and even though they would pretty much whittle down the P.E.K.K.A.s and the wizards, the golems are just tough enough to be able to beat them up some, especially with the level 5 golem that was donated, and that one finally turns into golemites now. So as you can see, the attention's off, and that one wizard's just enough to put the offensive oomph into taking down this base. So now at this point, I'm sort of thinking, oh wait, wasn't this over yet? But it turns out there was a little bit of a builder's hut in the side there, and this is where things get a little suspenseful. Now bear in mind, this is a war during the time when we had the 3.5-minute period to fight with, so it was a little less worrisome at the time. However, this is kind of a lesson where you might want to consider just leaving in a few archers or a wizard or two and make sure that you go ahead and save them for a situation like this where you really need to save the time. But in this case, the golems managed to get there in time and take care of it, and number 2 is taken out. So now let's see how we do with number 1. I do want to point out that this was actually the very first attack of the war. Taiga went ahead and came in, attacked his mirror, and when I saw that very first attack result in 3 stars, as you know that this one's going to be, basically I'm thinking, man, we have the chance for a perfect war. And I didn't want to jinx it or anything. It was the very first attack, so we had plenty of time to mess up or whatever. And we certainly were expecting the other guys to attack at least, even though they hadn't donated their clan castles. So I'm just sitting here thinking, man, but this could be it, because once your number one takes down their number one for 3 stars, you can get the ball rolling. You can have something of a snowball effect, which is essentially what happened when our top two guys take on their top four, get 3 stars. I mean, I don't even expect that much in war, but if our top two guys can at the very least get 2 stars on each of those top four bases and do enough damage to boot, I would say that's satisfactory. But anytime you get a result like this, where you get 3 star results, then you can start thinking, we have a perfect war opportunity here. And certainly this one didn't get jinxed this time. The golems, the wizards, the pekkas, the witches, going in there, getting the job done. Definitely does well at placing the spells in the middle. Yeah, it was certainly awesome to see this happen. And you can tell that some of these defenses are still kind of, young, so to speak. You know, you got the Expo at level 1 there. You've got the cannons that are still at a Town Hall 8 level, and some of the Archer Towers the same way. The storages are way off on the outside corners, which actually made it easier for us to do this battle, or Tiger that is, to do this battle, because then you don't have to worry about being stalled with those storages while some other defense is behind them, picking off your troops. So at this point now it's just a matter of getting those storages taken out. The defenses were already handled because you could aim right for them. You didn't have to worry about those storages getting in the way. And bing, bang, boom, here we have a perfect war, ending ironically on the video here where we started it. And as you can see, we have our results here. Pot of Gold 30, La Clique 0. No participation. It was really crazy, but we did our part, and we did it super, super well. I'm really proud of my team here, especially because with my only attacks being ones that only pretty much got us 1 star out of the 6 I could have gotten, they really stepped up. And so, especially with my main account being absent, it seemed like there was a bit of a lack of leadership. I really wasn't expecting these kind of results, but we did really, really well. I want to thank everybody in there who, kicked so much butt, got all those stars, and made it look really, really good for us. So definitely expecting to get some more perfect wars in the future. But in the meantime, I just want to say congratulations to the Pot of Gold clan. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a video. And thank you very, very much for watching. There will be more to come.